to the Monitor podcast. I'm Lisa Rafter, publisher of Monitor. Today we're talking about a major shift in the world of equipment finance, one that brings together two industry leaders to form one of the largest independent players in the space. Onset Financial has officially acquired Channel, a top-tier provider of equipment finance and working capital solutions for small businesses. Together, they're not just merging resources, they're redefining what it means to be bold, nimble, and partner-focused in our industry. Joining us today are two key figures behind this move, Justin Nielsen, founder and CEO of Onset Financial, and Brad Peterson, co-founder and CEO of Channel. We'll dig into why this deal happened, what it means for the industry, and how these two leaders planned to shape the future of equipment leasing. So let's begin with the big picture. So I want to kick it off with the why behind the move. Two powerhouse independent equipment finance companies are now one. So what does this mean for the industry and for the people you serve?
Well, hey, thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's so great to be with you, and we're now at the St. George Red Rock division of Onset Financial. So we're in southern Utah. You see the beautiful landscape behind us, and we love our Red Rock division here in southern Utah. But this has been such a joy and such an honor to work on this acquisition with Channel, to work with Brad Peterson. And if I can just kind of start from the beginning, we've been trying to grow Onset Financial for years and years. We were founded in 2008. We've had great success growing our business. But as you know, organic growth becomes more and more challenging, especially from a talent acquisition perspective and finding quality people. And the last few years, we've grown in fundings at Onset Financial. We've grown in several categories, but it's been hard to grow the size of our business. And we made the decision in early 2024 that we wanted to start looking at potentially growing through acquisition. And we identified a gentleman in our organization named John Henderson. He's outstanding. He took on the role of Senior Vice President of Strategic Growth. And he reached out and started making some phone calls and reached out to Brad Peterson at Channel. And that was a great day. That was February of last year. So we've been going about this for 13 months now. A lot of people, they see the state of the industry right now and the state of the economy and some uncertain times. Well, we have been pushing forward with due diligence and building relationships for 13 months. It's been an absolute joy. And so really, it's just an honor for me to be here with Brad Peterson, to be officially, united and in partnership with Channel Partners. They are just spectacular. So really, the impact that we're hoping to make on the industry is we want to build and grow. And as I mentioned earlier, with our desire to grow Onset and to grow through acquisition, I had no idea that we would come across such an amazing company in Channel. And the process of getting to this point where we officially closed 2 days ago has just been extraordinary. And if I can just really just take the opportunity to thank Brad, thank his team, it's been spectacular. You look at all the aspects of a business, and the people are number one. The assets that we were the most concerned about were the people. And it became very evident very fast that the team at Channel, first of all, they have a deep bench. They have extraordinary leadership. The talent in that organization is amazing. And once we started to really get a picture of that, this acquisition just grew and grew, and here we are. So I'm not sure that answered your question, but I wanted to just kind of open up and introduce why it was important to us. We wanted to grow, and then how it transformed more from a growth initiative to really a milestone in Onset's history and some great relationships that have been built along the way.
Lisa, Justin's very kind in his descriptions of Channel, and has been for the past 13 months. For us, when John Henderson called on February 27th, 2024, I was familiar with Onset. I was familiar, in particular with their marketing and what always appeared to me is a really strong culture internally about talking about their business and their people and how they portrayed themselves, whether it was in LinkedIn or at some of the conferences and some of their marketing materials. They were second to none, by the way, and the marketing materials. And Lisa, you know our business, and we feel like that's a strength of ours with Christy and her team. But I was always impressed with what Onset brought to the market in that regard. But I didn't. Justin and I had not met. And so when John Henderson called up and we started talking, that was my perspective on Onset. Was I just always had a good feeling about them because of how they portrayed it, and it was similar to how we felt about ourselves. So that was the starting point. But I will say from that very first call and through Justin, through the first three meetings we had, we weren't for sale. That we were not looking for for somebody to acquire us. We were having another good year. We were very happy with where we were at. But Onset, just because of the feeling that you had about them and what that looked like from a cultural standpoint, had some interest to us. So we began the discussions, and we'll talk more about that. But that's where this all began, and kind of how you felt, what you were looking for, and how we were. From our perspective, there's a whole bunch of people that would have called that we probably wouldn't be interested in pursuing a conversation because we weren't for sale. Onset was a little bit different picture for us, and obviously at this point I'm really happy that this has evolved like it has over the past 13 months.
Wow, great story from both of you. Yeah, because I wanted to understand. I was going to ask about that. How did this come about? What was the pivotal moment? How are the two of you, now sitting where you are? But you both answered beautifully. So let me switch a little bit over then to the customer side of the equation. What can customers and your partners expect? What do you think this will look like in the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months?
Well, we hopefully things will continue the way they have been going. The first rule in our playbook of this acquisition is to first do no harm. And so Channel will continue to provide the excellent service that they provide to their partners and to their customers. And we're excited to watch them do that and help. And we've got some great collaboration that we've been doing on ways that hopefully we can improve and enhance that service to their partners. The same with Onset Financial. We will continue to be strong in the mid-market and the big ticket side of equipment finance. There's so many differences between Channel and Onset. And I like to use the Lego comparison, where the opposite sides of the Legos just connect perfectly. That's the way Onset and Channel are. The differences are tremendous value adds to both organizations. Their small ticket, their average size transaction is in the 30,000 to the 70,000 range, and Onset is in the 3 million range. We deal direct to customers. We have a strong telesales approach to the marketplace and offer financing direct to CFOs. Channel works direct with their valued partners in the marketplace, and it's been just such an eye-opener to see the incredible depth of the relationships that they have. We were at NIFA just recently and were able to participate in a special event that Channel hosted. And my heavens, it was amazing to see the relationships and the way that the market just loves Channel and loves Brad and his team. And so really, to answer that question, we will continue to lean into our strengths as far as customer acquisition goes, customer service goes, everything that we do. And then over time, we will continue to build on our strengths and grow from there.
And let me ask
So
you a question. Oh, I was going to ask one more thing of Justin, Brad, about you said something which I liked in the press release about setting a new standard. Can you talk about that a little bit? What does that look like tangibly, that standard?
Well, thank you for that. You know, there's a lot of ways to look at standard, and really the thing that I want to impress is that one of the thought processes we've talked about this is that, you know, bad companies are sold, great companies are acquired. Channel is a great company. And I can't say enough about the strength of this organization. And as we dug into the due diligence and really got to know this organization, we have been impressed at every turn with everything about their systems, their processes, their technology, the way they're data driven, and how they approach the marketplace, the depth of leadership that they have. So when we talk about a standard, first of all, the standard that we have with Channel is tremendous. We believe at Onset that we have a lot of the same value propositions to our customers, that we are technology driven, that we are best in class in some of the things that we provide to our customers. So you can't help but think that when we combine the synergies that come together between our organizations, will provide an enhanced experience for our partners, for the partners of Channel, for the customers of Onset. We believe that the combination of these two great independent forces in the marketplace will be better for our partners, better for our customers, and an overall better experience. And that's what we're driving for. We've got a lot of ideas. We've got whiteboards that are clear full. We've got notepads that are full, and we're not going to go through all of those yet with you, but trust me when I tell you, we are excited about the change and the growth in these organizations. But first and foremost, we will do no harm, and we will only grow and add to the experience, the value experience that we're offering to our customers.
Wow, that's
So,
really, really awesome. Yeah, Brad, how about you? How do you see this?
well, first of all, I want to register a little bit of a complaint because you mixed up the order of the question. Okay, so any preparation that an old guy does is all out the window. Now it's just off the cuff. Okay. So look, I'm going to answer this a little bit in how I might have answered a question in the proper order. Okay. When it will relate to what you just asked. So we had our first conversation in February of 2024. We met at ELFA in Chicago in April of 2024. And then Adam and Eli and I flew out to Salt Lake City in late May and met Justin and his team here in Salt Lake City for a day and a half, and had a great meeting. But maybe the most relevant thing to us is at one point Justin was talking about his business and some of his evaluations over the year about where the business might go strategically and different considerations, and at one point, you know, would it make sense to try and sell the business, and who would be a potential buyer, and was that one option? This is several years ago, and what Justin relayed to us is that when he was going through that or thinking about that process and talking with some PE firms and talking with some banks, their evaluation of the business was, what's the volume, what's the revenue, what's the net income, what's the ROA, what's the ROE, and how can we drive those? How can I grow that 15% or 20% or whatever the numbers are, that they decided that was acceptable returns for them. And Justin was relating that, and he said, you know what I know, I'm speaking for him, what Justin knew was that his business was about the people, the culture, the model, the relationships that they had. It was the brand, how you guys portrayed yourself internally and externally in the marketplace. And it was those things that made these things happen. And as he was going through that process, he was saying, it's not maybe that these guys don't understand this, but they don't really value that. They just want this. And Justin as he was relating that to us, he said, I decided this is what's important, and I don't want to be in an organization that only thinks about this. Adam and Eli and I, the three of us, looked at each other and said, that's exactly how Channel feels. That was where, for me, the connection in the cultures and the thought process about what we're doing in our businesses and why we're successful, even though we're wildly different businesses. So both in equipment finance, they're a real finance company doing, the big ticket, large and sometimes mega large transactions. We're a small ticket operation, more in the convenience credit business, right? We look at 6,000-8,000 deals a month. You look at 20. Okay. So very, very different businesses. Can I say numbers?
Absolutely.
They do $1 billion a month. We did or a year. Sorry,
We're going to get to $1 billion a month.
You're getting there.
and we were 600 in last year. So we were very different. There was no overlap, right? But the thought process about the culture and who we are internally was very close, if not identical. And how they related to their employees and how we related to our employees and all those things. So that was for us a really eye-opening. If we were ever to sell, man, these are the folks that we think we match up with very, very well, because all of the synergies are going to be positive. There is no overlap. There is no cannibalized business in any sort of way or conflict there, only positives. And so that made a big deal to us as we were going through this path together, down this path together.
Well, if I can give me that baton, let's take it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So one of the internal things that we've talked about is that we see Channel as our Minnesota twin. Obviously playing with the professional baseball team, but we focus heavily at Onset on culture for our team, culture for our funding partners and folks that we're with. We invest a lot of time and effort and dollars into culture. And I thought that we were so far ahead of some of our peers in the industry from a culture perspective. We meet Channel and go over to Minnetonka and visit their corporate headquarters. And they have an equally as amazing culture as what we've been working so hard to build at Onset. That was amazing to see that a company like us in equipment finance or specialty finance is so committed to culture for their team. So that was an aspect that made us a great fit. Another element of the fit was that they were process driven on the technology side. We have several internal software developers. I thought we were one of the few independents in the marketplace that actually internally embraced software development for, customized 100% for our own purposes and to help streamline our process. We go to Channel, they've got more in-house developers than we had, and they had systems or have systems that are so robust, it blew our minds. The portals they have, the data-driven metrics that they use to drive their business, to give their partners and their customers the best finance experience possible, has been incredible to see. And that's another element that we look at and say, okay, they are our Minnesota twin. Now I'm going to tell you one more, and this is complete, just random, but quite ironic. We looked at their logo, and our logos are almost the same logo, just a different color and a little rotation of the dots and then added to it. But the logos even line up. And that's So we looked at it and we joked about it a little bit that, guys, we are aligned more than we thought before we ever started to peel back the layers. So it's been a great experience to really see the similarities, even though, as Brad said, from an approach to the marketplace, we're significantly different.
Yeah, and yet, like you are describing, meant to be at some level. And I
Yeah.
noticed that with your logos actually, when I looked on LinkedIn and saw them together, I thought, well, look at that. Yeah, that's really great. So let me ask you, you both talked quite a bit about culture and how aligned you are. And how do you see your combined teams working together, building a best place to work environment?
Well, that's something that we have been so excited. I mean, the work that has gone into this acquisition has been such a heavy lift. And Channel is not a small organization. They have close to 250 employees. Like Brad mentioned, they funded just over $600 million last year. They processed to get to that 600 million, over 10,000 transactions. And they're a complex organization. They're very detail oriented. And so to go in and go through this process of underwriting and due diligence has been significant. It has not been a light load, to say the least. So we have been in dual engagement here, working in tandem to talk about the way we're going to build this organization post close, but also let's get to close. And here we are. We closed on Tuesday, and it has been so fun to really start to explore the synergies that we're going to have together. Now, we obviously had a lot of those going into this, but let me just mention a couple to you. Channel has just done a magnificent job with their senior institutional lending groups that they work with, and also with their ABS structures that they have in place. We don't have those. Channel has those to the tune of hundreds of millions. What a great way that they capitalize their leases, the way they fund their business. For Onset Financial, we've taken a different path. We have gone more towards the non-institutional side. We have funded billions of dollars of our equipment finance transactions with what we refer to as non-institutional. And what I mean by that is non-bank. So a lot of the dollars that we fund our transactions with are non-bank. So to think about how we can lean into one another to help capitalize and help increase capital flow for Channel with non-institutional capital, and yet also have Onset go in and benefit from the ABS markets and also their senior lending relationships, is going to be a tremendous value to us. So if you just look at a high level, capital is a huge value add that we both offer to one another in this partnership. We're excited to really dig into that and explore that. It's going to be marvelous. Another thing that we're excited about is I talked about the processes, the systems, the fintech that both companies have leaned into quite heavily. We're excited to see how we can benefit their fintech and how they can benefit ours. The collaboration of the technology is going to be incredible. And then also, the cultures. We don't see improvements that need to be made to Channel's culture, and certainly I don't think they see that in us. We have noticed a couple things. So they have one of those machines like the movie theater where you put your drink in and you hit Coke or Sprite or whatever, and then you add vanilla or cherry. So we're going to go get one of those for us. So we're taking that idea from them. We have a cereal bar at Onset where we have all the cereal laid out, free cereal to our employees. They want the cereal bar. So I will tell you, out of the gates, right out of close, we're going to have a soda machine that's high-tech, touchscreen. They're going to have a cereal bar. So I can tell you that's going to happen in short order. But it's going to be fun to really work on providing the best finance experience for both of our partners in going forward. And that is the goal. And if there's anything to take away from this that we would like to, project to the marketplace, that all we want to do is enhance the experience for our customers, enhance the ability to deliver capital, to deliver what they are need and in search of in capital markets, and to give them the best experience possible. We believe we do a great job of that at both companies, but we're very excited to enhance that.
So you asked about best places to work,
Yes.
and both companies been recognized
Right.
locally here in Utah, Channel in Minnesota, and in both by Inc. Magazine as best places to work. And there's a number of things that we've seen here that we go, wow. And I think Justin would say the same as he comes to Minnesota. We're here in St. George. They've been kindly invited us out to some of our folks to participate in a sales training, a semi-annual couple days of sales training. And I can tell you, I was in a sort of private meeting last night with Justin's all his sales leaders. There's 10 of them. All have been a part of this business for a significant amount of time, and others 4 or 5 years maybe. But I've never, Lisa, I've been around the Schwann's and US Bank and Pentec and Can and Channel, and done business with a whole bunch of different companies, a whole bunch of great companies. I've never sat in a meeting like Justin and his salespeople headed up last night that was so personal and so intimate about the belief in the company and the belief in how do we help our employees get better? How do I think about getting better as a manager and so forth? It was fantastic for our people that were here to see that. I think we're good, but we're not that good, like they are. And then today, we're missing some of it now, but today we've sat through the morning of the sales training, and it's fantastic. Their sales model is different than ours. It's a direct end user direct model. The size of the transactions are in the millions, sometimes in the hundreds of millions, very different than what we deal with. But the training and the care about the people and the people's engagement in it is fantastic. So again, something like I've not seen the level and the intensity that in other places, great companies that we work with, but this is something very unique that Channel will take back. We won't do it the same way because we got different models, but there's many things here that we could do a lot better in terms of those types of things. And I think there's probably some things we do from a people standpoint that might gravitate here and make both of us better companies, better places to work. So that's another level of excitement for us. We just know we're home at Onset family of companies.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And
Well, if I can add to that, Lisa, the camaraderie, the morale, the relationships that they have at Channel, second to none. So he's very kind when he says that and I appreciate the compliment because we have very close ties and we're a very tight-knit group, and we believe that that's an important ingredient for success as an organization. But we see the exact same at Channel, and so another reason why our organizations tie in so well.
yeah, I keep hearing that, seeing that Lego example you gave, and just how you come together. So let me ask you both one final question that you can both weigh in on. What's the one thing you're most excited about in this new chapter for that you're both about to step into for your teams, your partners, and the industry? What's the thing you're most excited about?
I appreciate that question. Thanks for that. Like I mentioned earlier, when we embarked on this journey last February, the original thought was growth. And that was the plan. And that's still the plan. We're excited to grow and build the organizations and draw on each other's strengths, strengthen those strengths. We're really looking forward to that. But as time has gone by since February of last year till now, the biggest excitement for me is the friendships, the relationships that we've built with the team at Channel. It's just amazing. And it's such a hidden bonus because I wasn't expecting that. And I should have been, right? I should have been expecting that, but I wasn't. I was more business focused and like, hey, we're gonna find a strategic acquisition target, and but then we start to get to know Brad and his team, and the relationships have grown. It's been incredible. I had a personal loss the other day. I lost my dad, and it was he lived a wonderful life. But I was at the funeral and there was a knock on the door, and here comes all these flowers from Channel.
Mhm.
And it made me emotional because this is my new family. These are my new people. And it really brought it home to me that these are dear friends, and I'm grateful to work with them. And I'm really excited. Brad is incredible. And I will tell you, getting to know him, he's one of the more knowledgeable and dynamic leaders that I think this industry has seen. It's going to be great for me to learn from him, to grow with him, and to grow this business. So Brad, I'm excited to do this with you, and I appreciate where we've gotten to.
Well, I appreciate that. And Justin's kind, and he knows, and I've said it, and I'll say it more times, Lisa, I feel the same, more so. And he's a face man. Okay. We are collectively, I would like you to know, we are collectively the best looking CEO in the country. Okay. Collectively. And then if I leave the picture, we are by far the best looking CEO. Anyway, Lisa, I'll answer that question. What am I most excited about?
Yeah.
You've spent some extended time with Channel over the years in our office and talking about who we are and what's important to us. And the people, obviously, we care deeply about. But maybe even a notch above that, or right level with it, is our relationships with our partners. I mean, that's what we built the business on, and that is the filter that everything we do kind of goes through. How does this fit for our partners? And you may remember in our discussions, I bet I drew it up on the whiteboard.
I was thinking whiteboards. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I'll use my hands to kind of depict it. We kind of look at a relationship with a partner as they have their pie of business that they have, and we hope to earn some sort of slice of that pie, right? With products and programs, and how do we fit, and those kinds of things. And then, once we've kind of got that relationship, you can think about it a couple different ways. You can say, well, I just want to increase my slice. Okay. So I'm going to try and, I'll use the word steal, but I'm going to try and take business from others that are providing services to that customer. Right. Or we've always looked at it and said, what can we do to make that pie bigger how can we help that equipment finance company grow their business, which will cause our slice of the pie to get bigger just because the overall pie is bigger. But then we hope, okay, if we've done this, maybe we'll find more fits going this way as well. And that's always been our philosophy, and will always be our philosophy. And the connection with Onset, the unique capital that they bring to the marketplace that we will have access to, is going to help us. Where in the past, if you're dealing just in the banking industry, there's some norms and some things that the banks will or won't do, and consequently we will or won't do because of the world we're in. Well, this creates a new world, and it creates a lot of opportunity for us to do different ways to grow, that to help those equipment finance companies grow their pie. And I think you'll see us, there's a lot of creativity and innovation in what Onset's done to grow their business. And there's maybe more than anything, there's an understanding of the equipment finance business and an openness to find those places that we can invest the significant capital resources that Onset has in our business and in our relationships with our customers. And I think first, the next few months, we're just going to make sure we stay on the right path, but not very far down the road, companies are going to see us asking questions and doing things that aren't typical in the marketplace because of the support that we have from Justin and his team. That's the exciting thing to me. This is the new chapter of Channel. We'll be Channel. We'll be elite like we are. We will pursue the marketplace as we have, with the same people in the same way, but we're going to have access to so much more support and resources and strategic thinking and innovation than what we've had just amongst ourselves. So we're very, very excited about that. I think this is an absolutely new chapter in who Channel can be and our other companies, and it's led by Justin and the Onset Financial family of companies. Anxious to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, it's palpable, comes across the screen. Your excitement, your enthusiasm, your respect, the honor, all of it. So I wish you both the best of luck, which I don't think you need, but the best of everything in what you're building together. And we'd love to come back with you whenever you're ready. So let us know with Monitor. We can come back and do another interview. We can do a check-in and
Sure. Love to.
post it. I think that would be fun. And I know the industry's interested and excited for what you're building here as well. So let's do that. All right, let's come back together in 6 months or so and see how it's all going. And again, thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your night and week. Thank you.
Lisa,
Perfect.
thank you. It would be an honor to meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate the opportunity.